we go, back online. And there we go. Love all of this packaging. This is what I get for starting late. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's going to be a little bit different. So in preparation for my upcoming vendor shows, I am going to be prepping a few of my canvases, and you might see a bit of an outline going on here. I am going to be painting this and just making everything pop. Hi everyone. Middle child with anger issues. Nice to see you. I'm going to put you guys on mute for just a moment. Oh, thank you so much. I'm sorry I cannot pronounce your username without fear of messing it up, so I'm going to call you OG. Thank you so much. I'm going to go post a sign outside of my bedroom door real quick, so I'll be right back. There we go, and I am back. Sorry for the pause. These walls are about as thin as cardboard, so I like to put a sign outside my door that lets people know that I am working on a video, just to cover my bases. Let's see, is that a wolf? No, this is of a horse head. I do have a wolf. I do have a wolf picture that I'm going to be bringing to my next showing. Let me grab it for you guys. I'm going to have to zoom out the picture here in just a moment, so bear with me. You guys might see a little bit of something right there, but trying to fix this so it doesn't all fall apart. There we go. So here is the wolf painting. YouTube Live won't let me zoom out. There's more to it there on the side. I actually had to go in with a blue, some blue paint and kind of help to create these extra silhouette lines. I'm really happy with how it came out. I will be selling this at my next vendor event. Gamer Chick gonna win. Good to see you. Stay. Whoops. Never know what you're gonna get with me. Stay put. I am very much a novice at all of this, so please and thank you for bearing with me. Okay, good. I didn't lose too much of my focus. There we go. And I do have a cat who's bopping around. She might stop by and say hi. She thankfully leaves all of my art projects alone. It's just whenever I try to do things that she decides to make an appearance, as one does when they are a cat. And I am a little close to the camera today, so I apologize for any extra sounds. Muffin might try to come sit on my lap. So I know, see, I gotta find, there we go, let's start here. Finicky Firetail, thank you so much for joining. It's nice to see you in the comments. So on my Instagram and YouTube poll, I only got reactions, or sorry, I only got, yeah, reactions from my Instagram accounts regarding what I should talk about for this Monday's live stream. And the consensus, Muffin, thank you. The consensus was everybody wants to know what my future video plans are, and I am excited to share them with you. Now that summer is right around the corner, even though right now in Washington it sure doesn't feel like it, it's just kind of going back and forth between rain, sun, and it's literally flip-flopping back and forth. But as summer gets closer, I am going to be spray painting, and as much as my fingers protest spray painting, it's actually quite a lot of strain on my fingers. It's just so much fun. Hey, Muffin. Thank you. I don't need your assistance right now, sweetheart. But yeah, it's a lot of fun for me. I really do enjoy it. And there's just so many possibilities that can happen when it comes to spray painting. It is a lot more controlled and a lot more thought out than the pour paintings that I normally do here. So I can really create, or at least attempt to create, what I'm thinking of in my mind. And that's one of the reasons why I love it so much. So as this picture here progresses, you might be able to recognize the stencil, or the outline at least, from one of my most recent posts of when I did spray paint the other day. And that's because I use stencils when I spray paint. Thank you, Muffin. Let's see here. OG, I like your wolf earlier. Thank you. I like it too. I really want to do more. I actually have one that's lined up. It's going to have so many details to it, and I'm excited to work on it, but I need the fresh open air for it to really work, because it's not a good idea to spray paint indoors. So it's got to be done outside. And what is your favorite color? That is a hard one. I love color in general. I mean, I don't think there is an ugly color, because every color that you see that you can make, that can be produced, can be found out in nature. And yeah, certain colors just don't really go together, but I don't feel like there really is an ugly color. So to generalize it, I would have to say I'm leaning towards lavenders and purples, yellows and blues for my favorites so far, but that'll probably change here pretty soon. And I know this doesn't look like much. I'm kind of fighting. I sketched this on with pencil, and I'm kind of fighting the light that's behind me. But if you hang tight and give me a little more time, you'll start to see the horse head that I'm working on. Yeah, asking an artist what their favorite color is always going to be a loaded question. A good one nonetheless, but you won't get very many answers, that's for sure. I actually used to work at a paint store before I moved down here, and I live where I live now. Man, I really miss that paint store. It was so much fun. I got to learn a lot about paint colors and how to find the undertones of house paint, indoor and outdoor. And I remember there was this one brown. It looked brown inside the store, but the moment I took it outside, just to get it in a new light and really get a good look at it, I kid you not, that brown changed from brown to purple in the sunlight. And it wasn't a special kind of paint. It wasn't a special color effect. Didn't have any special properties to it. It was just regular paint, but the undertones were brought out in the outside lights, which is blue light. And if you are familiar with a lot of technology lingo, blue light is admitted through phones and devices like computers, laptops, iPads, you know, anything electrical with a screen puts out a blue light that's emulating the lights that's outside. So with the blue shining onto the brown, it brought out the blue that helped to create that brown. And it turned it purple. If I had an example of that brown, I should have kept that color swatch. I would be able to show you guys. But it just blew my mind. And then after that, I had to show every single customer who came through looking at browns, especially when it comes to exterior houses or, you know, exterior paint. You don't want to get a brown only to have your house turn purple in the evening or in the early morning. I mean, maybe I would. Okay, there's some of the ears. Thank you, Gamer Chick Gonna Win. I could turn you guys... Actually, no, I don't think I can. I was gonna say, I might be able to take you from like vertical to horizontal, but my current setup can only do vertical stuff without turning you all upside down. Because I am having a hard time seeing these lines that I put down from the stencil. And I don't have the stencil with me. It is outside. I wanted to bring some of my projects indoors to finish drying. They're in the crafting shed that we have on our property, but the rain was just beating down on us about a minute ago. I really don't want my canvas to get wet, so perhaps I'll save that for another day. But that'll just make this one more unique. I already have a hard enough time replicating art pieces I've done in the past. So as far as paint goes for painting these lines on, I am actually using this that I found, believe it or not, at the dollar store. At least, or no, I think, okay, not from the dollar store. I got this from Michael's, but it is so incredibly thick. Like, not even water is good enough. Like, I have to add 2 parts water just to thin it out enough to be able to use it in any of my pour paintings. Coffee break. But I have to thin it out so much in order to be able to use it. And I thought, you know, I do want a thick black paint on this, because then I can move it as much as I need to and not have to worry about the opaqueness. All right, so being that we are already 20 minutes into the live stream, I am going to start talking about my plans for future videos. I touched on it already a little bit regarding spray paint, but I would like to do some videos that are like this, of just me updating my spray paintings. This is a spray painted background, by the way, but I want to bring them in and at the very least do a time-lapse video of me painting on them and just helping to bring them to life a little bit more. I'm actually surprised that was the video that got the most votes. And that was the option that got the most votes. I mean, most of you only know me from my pour paintings as of current, but I'm interested in knowing what other kinds of videos you guys want to see. If you take a look on my Instagram, you might have seen that in the past I have done snow globes. And I would love to do snow globes again, but the resin that I used to seal everything together unfortunately started coming undone. Just a year after being sealed. And I use baby oil, and oil always expands in water. No, I got that wrong. Oil expands in heat. And so, I don't know, I guess with the rising and falling of temperatures, the pressure created inside of the snow globe just kind of pops things loose, maybe. And if I'm going to be making videos, I want to be able to showcase them to any customers who are interested in seeing how they were created. And if my snow globes are popping loose on people. I don't want to sell them. It's just going to be more of a liability. Well, not a liability. It's just baby oil and like glitter, pretty much. But it's not a good product if I'm going to try and sell it, you know? Go figure, I try and start on a picture that's got so many curves on it. I do have one idea in mind, though, to try and keep everything all together as far as snow globes go, and that is aquarium sealant or aquarium grade silicone. And I'm thinking maybe that's what I need to use instead of resin. Because at least that way it'll be able to resist the pressure. Because for the fact that they have glitter in them, if somebody wants to put them in a sunny windowsill, I don't want to worry about the seal coming loose and then, you know, the person goes to shake their glitter bottle and it just dumps baby oil and glitter all over them. For those of you who may not kind of understand what I'm talking about, I have one here that has stayed out of the windowsill. It hasn't started leaking to my knowledge, but this is what I'm talking in reference to. It's a little salt and pepper shaker that I picked up from the dollar store. I sealed the holes off and then I sealed the inner lid with UV resin just to seal it all in place and keep it all in there. But these are so much fun to make. I literally have a wall off to the side of just stacks of glitter. And I actually have a few videos on my Instagram that's just all sparkles and all glitter. That's literally these. And, you know, kids really like them. I really like them. And everybody in my family loves them. So I want to figure out how to improve these and just make them better so I can get back to selling them. I literally have boxes of bottles saved up so I can use their glitter bottles. But I can't have them opening on people, you know? And these are just so much fun to look at too. And in case you didn't get it, those were both salt and pepper shakers. So I thought I'd go with a black and white mix, you know, just to keep up with the theme. Excuse me, coffee break. I got a late start to my morning today. But yeah, I would love to figure out what I need to do in order to get those in working order again. And not just so I can sell them, not everything has to be about selling. But it's just so much fun to make. So if either of you have any ideas on how I can seal up those bottles and keep the baby oil from leaking and the seal from breaking open, please don't be afraid to send me a comment or private message me about some possible ideas. I might just have to go in with my own details here. Because if I can figure out how to keep those from breaking on people, then I definitely want to do more videos on how to make them. I've noticed there is a lot of gatekeeping regarding snow globes or shakers. Well, not so much shakers, but a lot of people don't really want to give away their secrets to a successful product. And while I kind of understand that, it's just like, come on, give me a nugget, help me out. Because I want to be a part of that too. I want to make people smile. I want to make something fun for kids, especially. I mean, like, how nice would it be if a parent could just hands their kid a glitter shaker and be like, here, zone out for like 2-3 minutes and just be able to get that peace and quiet. Okay, at this point, I'm just kind of winging it. Yeah, I mean, that kind of works. It's not as sharp and crisp as what I wanted it to be, but I'm fighting the shiny reflections of the pencil that I used to make these lines and the shiny reflections bouncing off the spray paint background from my window. So I'm trying. Super glue. I haven't tried super glue yet. Maybe it's just maybe it's just the brand of super glue that I've had in the past. But they don't really, as far as I've noticed, they don't really last too long. But then again, it could just be the ones that I've had not lasting very long. But I definitely want to give it a try. It's got to be able to dry within a sealed environment, which is why I liked using the UV resin, because all I would have to do is just shine a UV light on it, and then, you know, it cures with the UV light. And I'm not sure if super glue or Gorilla Glue is going to be able to do that once I seal everything up within the container. That's the main issue that I run into, is how can I seal this up and make sure it is actually sealed and dried. Maybe I can use that in combination with the aquarium grade silicone. One thing's for sure, when the weather becomes more stable in Washington, I gotta figure out how I'm going to video everything. I tried doing a video, what was it, just a few days ago. I tried to video making some things, but it just didn't quite work out. I don't know if you can call it a selfie stick. It's not really a selfie stick, but it's akin to one. And, well, does work. The mobility and flexibility is what's really killing my angles. Not to mention the system it uses to clamp on is more or less a hang on, hold on, hang on, rather than a clamp. So I really am just working with what I got. Let me see if I can zoom you guys out a little bit. Maybe YouTube will let me, okay, zoom in, zoom out, kind of. And here is our horse head. I'll show you guys a quick picture of the stencil that it's supposed to be of, but I didn't put too much detail on the background here just because of that reason. I knew I would have to try and pencil it in. There we go. Okay, one moment. I'm going to take you guys off the stand real quick. Ouch. Okay, so this is what it was supposed to look like. This is one that I did last year, and I've got another one in the works that's not quite like this one. It's got blue in it instead of yellows, purples, oranges, and browns. But this is essentially what I was trying to paint in. And yeah, the best I can say is I tried. Let me get you guys back on here, and we'll do another one that's going to be a little bit easier for me to work on. The lines are going to be a lot clearer for me to see, hopefully. If I accidentally, whoops. If I accidentally terminate the live stream, I will try to come back on. I can just, this is, see this right here? This is what I'm working on. That's my dog. That's my baby dog. But yeah, this whole situation is quite literally hold on, hang on, rather than something I can just, you know, like clamp to the side right there and have it looming, I guess you can say. Okay, let me try and do this again. Put the phone out. Oh, there, this thing really is such a hassle. Sorry for that. Okay. Some of you might recognize this painting. This dusty painting. I'm going to attempt to revive it. And I say revive because it is full of these little bumps. You can kind of see right there, kind of looks like little styrofoam bits on top of the painting. Those aren't coming off. And that's because one of the paints that I poured over, this used to be a pour painting, that it just wasn't jamming with me. So I poured over the pour painting and discovered all of these little blips and bumps that I have to somehow try and disguise. I'm not going to sell this one just because... Sorry, Ralphie is enjoying the live stream but can't figure out where you are. I don't know who Ralphie is, or why they can't figure out where I am. I mean, I'm in my house. But anyway, yeah, so this painting is full of these little paint bumps, and it's just, I don't want to sell something like this unless it's intended to be texturized. I haven't worked with that pillow puffy paint yet. I honestly don't know if I want to, but yeah, so this one's going to be super easy. There's a lot to fill in. And aside from the bumps, I do have some gilding leaf that I've been wanting to try out. For those of you who don't know what gilding leaf is, it's that gold, silver, rose gold. It's a foil that you can paste onto surfaces. Get a fluffy brush, like a makeup brush, and dust it on surfaces. Dust away the excess, and then you leave behind this beautiful gold leafing, kind of like an embossing. I do have some of that stuff. And I think it would be super cool to intentionally bring out these little bumps on the painting and highlight them with some gold leaf gilding. I mean, maybe it would work. If I go quiet, I'm just concentrating and making sure I don't go over my lines. I'm going to make sure that I at least kind of outline where I need to fill in. But while I have you guys here, if there are certain things you want to see me tackle, or listen to some things you would like for me to talk about, send me some comments or private message me, and I will put something together. It's not always fun doing everything that I want to do, you know? And I haven't had very much interaction on YouTube. I've noticed that if I take a short break from YouTube, like the other day, I had spent time with family and we went to the beach, or no, we did something, but I basically needed to like kind of recuperate. I lose a lot of my activity, and people who would normally comment or interact they kind of disappeared. So if there's anything you want to see me do, anything you want to see me paint or draw or anything like that, any colors you want me to mix for pour paintings, just send me a comment. Any of my videos, any of my Instagram pictures. Oh shoot, yep. Well, I don't think this one's gonna turn out the way I thought it was. The way I thought it would. Now, I don't have an example of this one in my room. But hey, this is why I'm using a picture that I'm not intending to sell. This is just so I can play around and see what I can do. James Scott says, "Oh, our last kitty. He hears your voice and sees your hand moving and try to grab it with his paw." Aw, that's so cute. It's so sweet. Muffin, my kitty, she was just very active when I started the live stream. It was funny. She's like, "Oh, what's this doing here?" She starts rubbing all against my easel, and it's like, "Cat, if you knock this over, I am gonna be so upset." Thankfully, she didn't. Yeah, I think I'm lost on this one. I don't know why I thought stencils would be easy. This might be one of those trust the process things. The only reason why I didn't hit this with the spray paint, because I could have just spray painted this black, was my fingers were hurting like crazy when I finally got around to stenciling this. But at the same time, spray painting does require thought to go into it with your intentions of what you want to have on your reflected on your canvas. If you're familiar with Bob Ross's paintings, he paints from the background coming forward, and with spray paint, it is quite literally the opposite. You paint, or you spray rather, with the foreground going backwards. So the last stencil that you have and that you spray over is going to be the last thing that you see on your canvas, if that makes any sense. Just like how I am trying to make sense of this painting and what was I doing? Not everything I do is a win, but it's also good to showcase the fails. It's all a learning curve for me whenever I try something new like this. And I'm like, you know what? That is okay. because not only is it a learning curve, it is still learning. I'm just going to connect those two. Well, it at least looks like a horse. You know what? Maybe I'll just throw on some other colors later and I'll run with it. Although, off camera. I do think I am going to call this a day. My phone is hot and the live stream has been going on for just about 50 minutes, which is the typical runtime for me lately. Next Monday, I will hopefully have a better plan down and a better setup. Wait, let me see. What's next Monday? Whoops. Hello again. I guess I did close out the live stream. That's what I get for trying to look. But next Monday, I will hopefully have something better down. I'm not going to bother editing this session just because of how long it took. My phone throws a real fit if any of my live streams go over, 30 minutes or so. It just takes forever and a half for them to load up on my video editing app. So this will have been a live stream exclusive. Not that anything is a really surprise. But yeah, I'm going to take the phone off the stand. Ouch. And we are going to close out with my good boy, Checker. Hi, sweetie. Are you tired of listening to me ramble on about nonsense stuff? Oh, sweetheart. He says I'm sleepy. Checker's my Swiss roll. Oh, that's so sweet. Did you hear that, Checker dude? I've got a nickname. I've got a nickname. Oh, he's super tired. All right. Say goodbye, bye, Checker. You're not gonna say anything? I've got the eye goobers. Always is rub my face. All better? All right. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Oh, hi. Oh, you can do big stretch? Oh, big stretch. Oh, double stretch. There we go. All right. Bye, everyone.